Yup, it's that old Yorkshire geek here. I'm still faffing about getting things on. I'm going to need a longer intro. Anyway, as you can see from the... where is it? Down there. Oh, I can never get used to this. Over there. No, that way. There, that Star Wars thing there. It's Obi-Wan Day, and we're on episode 5, and... I do enjoy watching these Star Wars, these Obi-Wans, but it's rubbish, isn't it? It is rubbish. It is. I laughed out loud a few times at this episode. One part in particular, I was like, what? And laughing. So anyway, right, let's get the video up and we'll go through it like we normally do. Where have I put the bloody thing? There it is, right. So we've got a recap, as usual. Don't really need to see all this, do we? Previously, an Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's how he gets in. He went to the Fortress Inquisitorius. What they call it that for? I don't know. But what all Inquisitorius? What's all that about? Anyway, so they did all this, and they had the amazing hiding layer under the overcoat trick. And you think it can't really get any worse than that, can it? But it gets close in this episode. And there's spoilers. There's the bait and switch happens in this episode. So just letting you know. These masks and faces and stuff, they're same as last week. There's no new additions. So, and off we go. In a minute. There we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, and we found out that. Reaver put a tracker on his ship, and they're off to... I can never remember the name of the planet. The one that's got 2 eyes in it, Jamib or Jambio. I don't bloody know. I don't know. Anyway, so... here we go. This surprised me. I thought, is that Coruscant? And it is. Is it me, or does it look not as... Well, in the films, were there more spires and tall buildings on Coruscant? There don't much traffic going on, does there? Because this, if this is in the days of the Clone Wars, it could be, I suppose, but I don't know. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic floating about, does there, in the Coruscant skies? But anyway, whatever. There we go. We see a younger Obi-Wan and a younger Anakin as the Padawan. If they've done any de-aging on them, it's very minimal, because I can't really tell. Particularly Hayden Christensen, he looks old. I must admit, he does look a bit craggy. I think the word's craggy, isn't it? So there we go. By the way, hello, I'm on the camera. Can you see me? I'm on the camera this week. I know we're on last week as well, and I tried to be flash and put stars behind me. And it kind of worked, but, it was a bit of a faff. So I've just got the black screen now. Just a bit of a black screen there, look. That side as well. It's just a cloth, that's all it is. And it'll do. I ain't got the green one now. Anyway, so they're doing lightsaber training. And it's actually showing... Oh, see, I've gone too far now. It's... Anyway, whatever. It was showing how aggressive Anakin was. It goes back to it a few times in this episode. And it's either Obi-Wan thinking back or Anakin thinking back. Not Anakin, Vader. There he is. Don't know who's under the helmet. Is it Hayden under there? Don't know. Or is it one of the other stunt people? Don't know. Right, so she comes in, says the third sister has arrived. It's nice to see, the old Imperial uniforms. I know we saw them last week, but I'm guessing we don't actually see it. But I'm guessing we're on the I forgot the name of it now. The Executor, because she says it's an honour to be on his ship. So I'm presuming they're on the Executor, the Super Star Destroyer. But we don't actually see it from the outside. I don't know why. Couldn't they afford the effects for an external shot of the ship? It's Disney. Anyway, so basically he seems happy with her, and he makes her the Grand Inquisitor. He says, says kneel, and he says, rise, Grand Inquisitor, or whatever. And this officer sticks the Grand Inquisitor's badge on her. So that one think, oh, right, so the Grand Inquisitor must be dead because she's the Grand Inquisitor now. Right, anyway, so this transport that they escaped on from the ludicrously undefended Fortress Inquisitorius last week, they arrive at this planet, Jameeb, is it Jameeb or, I don't know, whatever, this one. And let's say the land in this landing area, it's like a hollowed out volcano. I don't know if it is or not, but it just reminded me of that because it's got doors that close over the top, so it gave me James Bond vibes. So anyway, the ship lands, and they all pan out. All these people here, all these people here are the ones that are waiting to escape. The people that they've rescued and they've gathered here, and they're wanting to get them away from the Empire. I don't know if any are Jedi or Force sensitives. I don't know. It don't tell us. But Obi-Wan later on sees a collection of lightsabers. I don't know who they're from, but and it doesn't explain it. This series does a lot of that, not explaining things. But never mind. I see this chap again. Don't ask me his name, I forgot. But he's there. He said, because he had a run-in with the third sister a few episodes ago, didn't he? And he thought, better be safe than sorry. He'd better get away from the Empire. Now he knows what it feels like to be a Jedi, to be on the run. And so he's there. And tickety-boo, matey. Now we see that loader droid again, who's very heroic, very K2 SO-ish later on in the episode. And if you've seen Rogue One, you know what that means. So basically, this is what he's telling him, that these people are going to escape. Vader's here again. They're in hyperspace. Still don't show the ship from the outside. This bit here looked very, I don't know, it looked very CG, I don't know, it looks very, it's a bit too smooth, isn't it, you know what I mean? It's like a game sequence. It's very smooth and, there's no film grain or anything, is there? You want a bit of grain, don't you? I mean, yeah, we all want it smooth and nice and 4K and all that. But sometimes you can overdo it a little bit. Put a bit of grit in there. Look, it looks like a game, doesn't it, from a game? I know it's supposed to be the blue hyperspace outside reflecting on his helmet, but it makes it look fake. And I always remembered Vader from the original, particularly the original, Star Wars, Episode 4, kind of having a little bit of a brown tint to these, to his lenses. Sometimes, if you look closely, I think you could kind of make out Dave Prowse underneath sometimes, his eyes. Or maybe that's just me imagining it, which it probably is. Right, meanwhile, this is Lola, who's been subverted by the third sister, Reva. So Lola's a baddie now. But she can't help it, it's not her fault. As we find out later on, she's got a tiny little restraining bolt that's making her act bad. She does bad things. So as you see here, she flies out. She goes into this. I don't know how she opens that. Maybe it's automated. I don't know. But she opens this cover, and she flies into all this wiring. I thought it's nice to see wiring in a sci-fi thing. She flies inside and she does something and makes show it in a minute. Makes the doors close up above, in the landing bay, so they can't escape. And they've found detected a Star Destroyer has appeared, in orbit. Still doesn't show us, but he says that's what's happened. So they're going to attack soon. This is Obi-Wan. He's found the lightsabers, and he just looks at them. He don't say anything, and he don't ask anybody for an explanation. But never mind. Anyway, he gives all his stuff. Oh, this is Lola doing her Nefarious deeds. Goes inside there. I think this is them. Hang on, I forgot to mute it. Gonna show the doors closing. Or maybe I've missed it. I must have missed it. Anyway, the doors are closing there. They're all looking up. Dee-dee-dee. Anyway, back to a flashback. They're still fighting. I suspect that all this were filmed, in the volume with the stagecraft stuff. And I got that feeling a lot with this episode. I know that they do it probably in every episode, but I got that feeling with this more than normal. Because this background, it doesn't look very convincing to me. But there it goes. Look, it don't look very young there, does it? Not to me, anyway. But I say it's showing he's being over aggressive. And later on, Obi-Wan says to him, Obi-Wan basically beats him. He steals his lightsaber from him. You think Obi-Wan's been beaten because he's lost his lightsaber. Then he uses the Force and grabs Anakin's from him because Anakin's overconfident. And so it's basically he's lost that battle. And Obi-Wan says, if you don't learn from these mistakes, you don't be over aggressive or whatever, you'll always be a Padawan, or always be a learner. I thought, oh, there we go. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. So he's still a learner. But that's a bit later. Is that bit? And even though the training is actually going at him, and I think, what if they makes a mistake and chops Obi-Wan's head off? I know he doesn't like, but there's always that risk, isn't there? Maybe the lightsabers are at full setting. I don't know. Maybe they just give him an electric shock. Right. So back at the. I forgot this. Yeah, we did see it from outside, and no, it's not the Executor, is it? It's a normal Star Destroyer. Well, I think it is anyway. It looks like a normal Star Destroyer from underneath, doesn't it? Don't know which one it is. Is it the one from A New Hope? Does that have a name? I can't remember. Yeah, so it's not the Executor, it's a regular one. And we see a couple of troop transports come down. It'd be nice to see a few TIE fighters with it as well, flying as escort, but no, we don't see that. Because for all they know, they might have, this rebel base, or the path, or whatever the hell they call it. It might have, we saw the previous episode, they had speeders, didn't they? Air speed, whatever they call them. So for all they know, they might have fighters. They could have X-Wings or anything. They don't know, do they? So you'd think they'd have a couple of TIE fighters at least for a bit of air cover, but no, they don't. So they got. So he knows they're going to attack, and it says the fellas that's in charge says, they can last a while, they'll be safe or whatever. And Obi-Wan says, no, there won't be a long siege because that's not Anakin hasn't got the patience for a siege. Or Vader hasn't got the patience for a siege. So that's that what happens. So let's go on a bit further. There they are, they're blocking the doors. Welding up the doors, like in Aliens. Could do with some automatic gun emplacements, couldn't they? Right, here we go. So, hang on, I'm going to go back a bit and show the ships. Anyway, so the stormtroopers arrive with a couple of, presume they're death troopers. And again, like I said, it looks very, it's on a sound stage. The volume. It looks a bit too volumey. But never mind. I mean, I could argue, if it were on a soundstage, it'd look too soundstagey. So I'm just being nitpicky. Anyway, they've got a big gun. And there's something that happens a bit later. I think, what was the point of the big bloody gun? But we'll get to that. So they start shooting at this door. And obviously these guns aren't very good at shooting through doors. Because they don't just blow the door open. They're just shooting for ages. Reaver arrives, the Grand Inquisitor. Here she goes, look. And then she talks, and I was like, bloody hell, woman, you're a bit shrill. And I thought, crikey. Rein it in. Oh, well, he looks happy, doesn't he? I don't know what he's happy about. Must have blinked and missed that. Anyway, so the decide that to open the door, the hangar bay doors for them to escape. It's in a conduit, the controls in a conduit, and they can't fit. So Leia says, "I'll fit. Give me a ladder." She takes charge because she's stunning and brave. And Obi-Wan, the fella in charge says, "You're just a kid, blah blah." And Obi-Wan says, "Give her a ladder." So they do. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan gives him, I think he gives him his lightsaber, his holographic thing. Why, yeah, a bit earlier on, or it might have been here, I don't know. But he got a communication from Bail Organa, who is the biggest knobhead in the galaxy. He sent Obi-Wan on this secret mission, but yet he's sending him bloody messages, Where are you? I haven't heard from you. And then he talks about, the children and go back to Tatooine and look after the boy. And I thought, he just setting him up to fail, innit? Because he's an idiot. Roll on when Alderaan gets blown up. Anyway, so he gives this chap his lightsaber, the little holographic communicator thing, and something else. I can't remember what. Might have been a blaster. I can't remember. And he says he's going to talk to Reva and try and what's the word? Not distract. Stall. That's the word. Try to stall them for a while. So that's what he does. So Leia, she climbs into this vent. Remember, Lola's still in there, hiding, I presume. This Obi-Wan, this Obi-Wan going to see his message from the idiot. There he is, Bail Organa. Oh dear. So then he goes back. Oh yeah, he talks to and she talks about when she was an Imperial officer. That they went to one place and there were all these families that they were gathered up with the Inquisitors. She didn't know what the Inquisitors were really, and they found these families that were all Force sensitive. And she said she didn't know what they were going to do with them, but basically they all died. She said something like 14 people died that day and 6 were children. And that's when she realised that she were on the wrong side. So that's her backstory. So we found out all about her. So she's doomed. She is. Spoilers. Right. So he's off to have a chat with Reva through a door. In a minute. There we go. Look, they've been blasting with that big bloody gun there, and looks like it's only done that. It's only left a little scorch mark. Oh, crikey, these doors must be tough. Here we go. Right. So, Obi-Wan's talking to Reva, and he basically finds out, talking through the door, and we find out now that even though she's become the Grand Inquisitor and she seems to be working for Vader, she's not working for Vader. She's hunting him. She's just waiting for the opportunity to kill him because of what happened. And when she was a child, Obi-Wan deduces that the only way she could know that Vader was Anakin Skywalker was that she knew him when he was Anakin. I don't know how she knows he's Vader, because... Oh, yeah, no. Well, no, she wouldn't really... You wouldn't think she'd know, would you? But anyway, whatever. Because unless she saw the recording of Palpatine saying, "Rise, Lord Vader," or maybe one of the clone troopers called him Lord Vader. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So she was there, when they were going at Order 66, and they were going around the temple, killing all the kids, and she played dead. She tried to save him, but she couldn't, and she played dead. And then obviously she escaped afterwards, and went into the underground or whatever. And they found her in the gutter and made her an inquisitor. Did the baddies. So that is sussed all that out, and so this is the bait and switch. So she's still a baddie. She's still a dark side person. But she's after Vader, really. She's not really after Obi-Wan. She just used him to get to Vader, to get Vader to come and face Obi-Wan, so she can kill Vader. So basically, that's what that's about. Then is this the bit? The first bit that I laughed. In a minute, is it gonna? Are you ready? Or is it a bit later? It might be a bit later. This is where it's. I think we'll go through all this, won't we? This is where she's telling him all about it, and we see some flashbacks that I probably won't land on, in the video. See her as a kid. We're not going to see it, are we? I'm not that lucky when I'm clicking on the video. Come on, show us. Never mind him. Show us the flashback video. Look, for crying out loud. Here we go. There's the bit I laughed at. Let me go back a bit. I'll just play it. There we go. She just puts a lightsaber through the door. Why did she do that to start with? They've been shooting it with this big bloody gun and not getting anywhere. And then she just puts a lightsaber through the door, look, cuts open the thing, and opens the door with the Force. Could have just done that to start with, couldn't she? But no, we had to have them talking. It's basically because, we had to find out that, yeah, she's a baddie, but she's not really a baddie. She's a stunning and brave baddie. That's what she is. Anyway, action ensues, and the stormtroopers come flooding in. There's laser blasts going on. Oh, look, he's being shot, and there's all these laser bolts flying about. People shooting back, and all that stuff. There we go. Bubblegum card pictures. So I can just picture that on the these trading cards that you get. So that's it. They're all into the. I don't know how big this base is, but it seems to have a few tunnels and a few areas. Like I said, it's obviously not immediately next door to where the ship is where the big doors were that they'd barred up. But it's it's not far off. But it's not immediately next door. Right, so she gets shot. Oh, you can't see her. We'll see it in a minute. Tala gets shot. There we go. Pew! She's being shot in the stomach, and she goes down. There we go. And there we go. She's I'm mortally wounded. And here the big droid, the loader droid, has come to help her, and he's shooting stormtroopers as well. But then he gets shot and deactivated, and he's like he's on his knees, or it's on its knees. It's like covering her. His last act was to shelter her from the blasts. And Obi-Wan tries to get to her, but she says no, go, and she gets out a thermal detonator. Oh no! That was me being Max Rebo. She gets out a thermal detonator, and she shoots a thing on the wall. See if I can get to that. Oh no, it's too late. I've done it. She shoots a thing on the wall, and it closes the blast door. Saving Obi-Wan because he wants to come and get her, but he just stands there. He don't come running in. He just stands there, behind the blast door, handily. And she shoots it and it closes, and then she blows everybody up. But not Reva, but let's say a few stormtroopers. There we go. Anyway, so they all pile into the hangar bay. Leia's still working away. They said, how are you doing, Leia? She said, I'm working on it. then this is Vader. He's going to come down and sort things out. He says Vader's coming. Let's go to Leia. Yes, he's going to give himself up for some reason. I don't understand this bit. It says I'm going to give myself up. So Leia's in here, and she finds Lola, and she finds the little like a restraining bolt sort of thing on the inside of one of Lola's little wings that she's got. Takes that off, and Lola's fine. Then her eye turns back to blue. Then she uses like a screwdriver, fixes the thing, the hangar door opens, and that. So anyway, meanwhile, Obi-Wan, he gives himself up, and I don't get this bit, because he gives himself up, but then he goes back inside. They don't do anything. Look, he's there on his knees in front of her, and they have a bit of a chit chat. And I don't know if he's thinking he's going to turn it to the good side, but obviously he's not going to. And then we have another flashback. I think is this the one where we see? Where we see? Look, God, look old there. It looks old there, doesn't it? As Hayden Christensen. Then Vader arrives. Here he is. Still getting over. Dun 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 dun. So he arrives. But Obi-Wan's sodded off, look. Hang on. Let's see if I can get back to where that bit was. I don't know, she just lets him go and he goes back inside. I don't understand why. She could have used Obi-Wan to distract Vader, and while Vader was distracted, chop his head off, couldn't he? See if it shows it. See if I can see it here. Or have I missed that bit? Oh, I missed that. Oh, no, it's there, look. And then Obi-Wan's there. Come on, show us what happens. Look, they're just taking him back inside, look. Look, why? I don't get it. But he's still tied up. Presumably untie him. Look, they take him in, and don't get it. Is this where Obi-Wan wins? Oh, see, I've gone too far again. Oh, it might not have been. Anyway, there we go. So here's Lola. She fixes Lola. Here comes Vader. Oops, got to pause it. There we go. She mends the door. There's the door opening. Dee. So anyway, so let's say everything's they're all piling into the ship, but it's a ruse, as we will see, a baffling ruse. But anyway, so the ship takes off. Look, presume everybody's on there, but Vader, you can't see him. Hang on, there he is. Look, Vader's got his arm out. To center again. He stops the ship, like Rey did in Rise of Skywalker. Use the Force to pull the ship, and he pulls it back down. There's nothing there in the background, is there? I can't see anything there in the background of that hangar bay. But never mind. Let's see what happens. He pulls it down. Look, still nothing there in the background. Nothing that I can see. What's that there? I don't know. Is that a ship? Don't look like a ship to me. It looks like something at the back of the hangar bay. To me, I think. I do believe. Anyway, pulls it down. Oh, for God's sake. Come on. There we go. Rips open the ship with the Force. And we see through a window at the other side. Oh, see, I've missed it now. There we go. I'll just press play. See, I've gone too far. Because I'm useless. There he is, ripping the ship open with the Force, because he's super angry and he's Vader. And then we see through that window, there's another ship on the other side that was just there, look. And it takes off and flies away, and he's just stood there. Why do he stop that with the Force? No, he doesn't. He just lets it go. Just lets it go because he thinks, oh, God, I'm an idiot. But where was that ship? I didn't see it. There was something at the back of the hangar bay, but I think that was just the back of the hangar bay, equipment or whatever. They want a ship. Not that I saw. But never mind. Alright, this is the last bit. So he's watching that ship fly away without not bringing it back down with the Force. Maybe he can't be bothered. He's just decided to have a flashback. And I think this is where Vader realises he's still a learner. That's when Obi-Wan takes Anakin's lightsaber with the Force, and he's saying, if you don't learn from this, you'll always be a Padawan, or words to that effect. So that ancient, God, he looks old, still looks old, doesn't he? He's still got his Padawan braid, but he's about a 50-year-old Padawan. He is Baby Grogu. Baby Yoda. There he is. So, What's-Her-Face comes in. Here we go. Reva's come in, ignite the lightsaber, and she attacks Vader. And she does the most, I don't know, this silly fight. Let's see if I can catch any of it. Look, like she's doing that, missing him. Look, she's I can't hit you. And, and she does it, look, she does a little spin. Oh, look, I'm still missing you. And then she does this thing where she goes round him, and is it going to show it here? Here we go. She just like falls over for no reason. Look, hang on, you ready? Come on, fall over. Or was that earlier on? It might have been. She just like fell over as she went round him, and then just stayed on the floor, and then got back up, and it was it was bad. It was bad. Yeah. Anyway, so Vader takes her lightsaber, breaks it in half, throws her half. So they have a... Oh, that was it. That was that bit there. Look. That was that bit they were on about. Here we go. She's falling over for no reason. Go back a bit more. Right, you ready? So there we go. She says, oh, look, I'm down on the floor. Oh, I can't get up. What's she doing? Get up, you silly cow. Oh, dear. She's hopeless. So they're having this... anyway, so he disarms her. I suppose that could be, much in the way that Obi-Wan disarmed him. So he's not a learner anymore. He is the master. And he runs her through with the lightsaber. I think that's what's just happened there. Another quick flashback of him killing all the younglings. Oh, that's her having a flashback in it, remembering back. There we go. So he's run her through with a lightsaber. But she's not dead. I'm telling you now, she's not dead. She's not the Grand Inquisitor anymore. Well, was she ever the Grand Inquisitor? Because somebody returns. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Who's back now? My silly face it way. Dun, dun, dun. It's the Grand Inquisitor. He's back. Look, there he is. There he is. So he says something to her, calls her a silly moo. And, spits out Grand Inquisitor to her. But it still looks rubbish. It still looks nothing like the one in Thingamabob, Rebels. So he is still alive. Oh, pardon me, so I'm burping. So he's still alive. And he's the Grand Inquisitor. He takes that off her. That's a little, I think, not in. He takes a little Grand Inquisitor badge and puts it back on himself. So they leave her. He says, we're going to leave you as we found you in the gutter. So that obviously means, I thought, well, she's obviously going to survive, isn't she? So, by the way, earlier on, I forgot to mention this. Remember I said Obi-Wan gave that fella from the Eternals he gave him his lightsaber, something else, and the little holographic communicator thing. Well, he dropped that. He dropped it on the floor as they were all rushing to escape, and he didn't bother to pick it up. So that's there on the floor. I think that... you can't see it, but I think it's over here somewhere. So they all bugger off and leave her there. So it's obviously not. She's not going to die. So anyway, so they've escaped, but the hyperdrive's down. And they said the Star Destroyer's, chasing them. Why isn't it shooting at them? I don't know, but it's chasing them. Here we go. She crawls across the floor, gets her lightsaber, and then she gets the. There we go. You can just see it there. Look, there it is. The little holographic thing, but it's damaged. So all she makes is she activates it. While she's dying, but she's not dying. Don't worry. She activates it and sees Bail Organa. See if I can. Get a shot of that, or would you have gone too far? Probably, yeah, I've gone too far. I'm an idiot. She sees Bail Organa telling, Obi-Wan, and she just basically pick up, about the children, and says, that he's going to go to Tatooine, and he must help the boy. And she mentions Owen, and obviously she's met Owen before. I don't know if he told her his name. Maybe he did, I don't know, I can't remember. A few episodes ago, when Owen was being super brave and not giving up Obi-Wan to the Inquisitors. But so we know that she's going back to Tatooine. I presume she's got some sort of med kit that she can fix her running through. Because, lightsaber wounds, they're nothing, are they? Nobody dies from a lightsaber wound unless they chop your head off. That's it, actually. So this bit, basically they're stuck in orbit of this planet. Oh, well, not in orbit, but they're stuck, trundling away at, sublight speeds with the Star Destroyer in pursuit with Vader on board. And that's how the episode ends. So the next episode, I presume, just make sure that is where... Oh, yeah, that's how the episode ends. We see the Lars homestead, and we see Luke. There we go. Luke's asleep. Don't know what's coming. So that's how it ends. And on Disney Plus, I was watching it, and the credits all played, and it didn't go into the little box in the corner like it normally does. And I thought, ooh, is there going to be a post-credit scene? Because usually when it does that, there's usually a post-credit scene. But no, there wasn't one, were there? No, they just lied. They just lied, and it just ended. So there you go. So that was not a very good episode, although I did enjoy it for its amusement factor. Oh dear. I mean, where do I start? I mean, there's that bit where, with all the stormtroopers there blasting the door, trying to get it open, she just comes along with the lightsaber, slices it open. Why did she do that to start with? Vader bringing the ship down, and then they're all escaping magically on another ship behind it. Hey presto! Oh, crikey. I know some people think the Force is like magic, but it's not pulling a rabbit out of a hat, is it? It's all simple tricks and nonsense. So we've one episode left. And by the way, this wasn't a particularly long episode either. What did it say? 40 minutes, and I don't know how much of that was credits. Let's have a look. A good 5 minutes of it were credits, or thereabouts. Yeah. It had about 4 or 5 minutes of credits, so it's about a 35-minute episode. So, well, not another particular... I don't know how long the last episode's going to be. We'll see. So, is there going to be another showdown with Vader and Obi-Wan? I don't think there is, to be honest. I suspect not. I think what's going to happen in this last episode, Obi-Wan's going to get back to Tatooine. Reva will have got there before him somehow, having healed up miraculously. She must have some, like a Bacta patch, or whatever they call them, stuck it on her guts. She'll have got there first, and that'll be where they do the... She's going to kill Luke, but she decides not to. She turns back to the good side, or whatever. She shows mercy, goes back to Vader, tells him that Obi-Wan's dead. Doesn't tell him about Luke, and the Obi-Wan don't believe her and kills her. And I think that unless the rumours that there's going to be a season 2 about Reva or a Reva spin-off, but I don't think there will be, because she's too shrill. It were bad. It were bad. But I still enjoyed it, but it were bad. And it just, I don't know. I don't like what they're doing with Obi-Wan. He still looks scared all the time, and it's doing my head in. It's doing my head in. I know he's being brave and stuff, and he's saying he's giving himself up to him and that, and then they just mysteriously just release him for no reason. But he's willing to sacrifice himself if necessary. But we realise, he's been out saving Leia when he should have been looking after Luke, But anyway, so next week, I'm presuming Leia she'll go back to Alderaan, Ben will go back to Tatooine. They'll somehow get the hyperdrive working, and they'll escape Vader's Star Destroyer. And that's, I think that's all that'll happen. There'll be a showdown on Tatooine, and then it'll just fizzle out, and then she'll go back and tell Obi-Wan Vader that Obi-Wan's dead, and he won't believe her and kill her. That's what I think is going to happen, and that'll be it. That'll be the end of it. So there. So anyway, so that's next week, innit? So we'll leave it there. Hang on, let me get rid of that. Let's go back to some stars. Spladosh. There we go. So we'll leave it there. It was a funny episode. Not as funny as Leia under an overcoat. Not that sort of funny, but funny as in, what? Magical spaceships appearing out of nowhere, hiding behind another spaceship. A bit like in Battlestar Galactica, the original, where the Cylon tankers were, one were hiding behind the other. Tucked in nice and neat, as Apollo said. It were funny with that. It were funny. It made me laugh. But anyway, right, so until next week with the final episode, the grand finale, I think it's just going to fizzle out. I think that's all it is. It's going to fizzle out. And I wouldn't be surprised if after next week somebody does an edit of it and cuts all the rubbish out and edits it down, to a feature-length, movie-length time, like a couple of hours. And it'll actually probably be quite good then, but it's just too stretched out as it is. But they're supposed to be showing it at the cinemas, aren't they? They're releasing it, in limited release at some cinemas. It'll be like 5 and odd hours. But why don't they just edit it down and release it as a movie, like they were going to do originally? I don't know. Right, so anyway, we'll leave it there. Till next week. Tomorrow there's Star Trek Strange New Worlds and The Orville, which I'll be reviewing. Busy days. But next week is the final episode of Obi-Wan. Looking forward to it. Just for the laughs, for the goofs, and and we'll see what happens. But until then, wherever you are in the universe, look after each other, and like and subscribe. Oh, keep pointing the wrong way. I'll never get used to that. Like and subscribe, and share the videos, and drop a comment in the comments. And until next time, I'll see thee. By the way, I got my flat cap on again. You notice? There we go. Because I'm from that Yorkshire. But anyway, I'll see thee. Right. Dee. I'm not doing a good job with this outro, am I? It's supposed to be all professional, and I'm just pressing the wrong buttons and everything. Right, I'm going this time, definitely. I'll see thee.